Hello, I'm Clarissa Medina from dreambookproject.com. I'm the official interviewer for Freedom Summit Global. We are getting to know the wonderful international and local speakers for Freedom Summit Global. These speakers are gathering to show us how to live a life of total freedom where we are not shackled by time, money, or location. Right now, we are joined by a very special guest, a growth marketing expert. He runs advanced marketing strategies for large companies, brands, and personalities. He resides in island resorts, beautiful beach villas, and skyrise hotels. The very definition of a true digital nomad. He wants to spread the message of this new way of living. I introduce to you the amazing Tom James.
Hello.
Hi, Tom. Thank you for granting this interview for Freedom Summit Global.
Thank you.
All right. Well, the summit is all about freedom. What does freedom mean to you personally?
Sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people get a bit confused when they hear the word freedom or think about it, because I think a lot of people imagine being free as basically having unlimited money, unlimited time. They can do what they want, but in reality, that's it doesn't usually happen for most people. So
Mhm.
I think the first step when thinking about what freedom would mean to someone is like defining what you actually want to do with your life. And that can be so different for so many different people. So for me personally, I wanted I wanted to be able to keep traveling because that's what I love, and seeing new people, new places. And so what freedom would mean for me is to have something to support what I want to do, which is traveling, right?
Mhm.
If someone has, bigger aspirations, maybe uh, to achieve freedom, they've got to do something completely different to what I'm doing. So I think the first stage is just to define exactly what you want to do with your life. And then freedom is when you have the means by which you can do that, right? So a big part of that is money. It's earning enough money to be able to support what you want to do. Another big part of that is more on the time side, or more like how you spend your time. So
Mhm.
I don't think you're truly free if you have got to work for the majority of the year to achieve the freedom you want for 1 month, for example. So that's why what I've been able to do is every day I feel like I'm free, because the way I make money, the way my career has developed, allows me to live that freedom every day, right? So that's another thing to think about. Um, so yeah, but it's different for everyone, and it starts with defining what you actually want to do with your life.
I see. So you're saying it's personal. People have different personal definitions of freedom.
Yeah, and I think that people don't always know what they want to do, and I guess that's fine. Um, but if you don't know what you want to do, then you can't work towards it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. So you're living this freedom right now, right?
I guess
Much?
pretty much more than I thought I would be able to do at this stage in my life, anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, that means for most people, that means you are living a successful life. And what advice do you have for people who want to become successful as well?
Sure. So again, that's probably a harder question to answer, even harder, because
Mhm.
it depends how you define your success, and people will have an even broader definition of what success means to them, right? But one thing I realized, with people, with myself included, and other people I saw that were able to kind of be achieving what they think is successful, is that they were always really curious about everything, right? So um, I have a lot of people text me and they're asking like, oh, how can they kind of do what I do, or learn more about digital marketing, or learn how to move away from like, that 9 to 5 career kind of job. But they don't really have that much curiosity in terms of how they're going to, they're not searching for those answers. Of course, it helps that they start off by asking me. But in my case, I was, from a younger age, I was actually like always Googling things, right?
Yeah.
So like I got interested in, like, I saw startups, and I got interested in like how I can develop my own business and stuff like that. When I was like 14, 15, I was listening to podcasts, Googling everything, literally Googling all the time. Like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? And that kind of curiosity will like, that if you have that curiosity, you're going to naturally, I think you're going to naturally be successful, because you're always going to be searching for the answers for doing whatever. This is one guy I speak to a lot. He's in California, and he's always saying that he wants to move away from his 9 to 5 job and literally just do work online, right? And then he's always acting like he's going to do it, but then whenever we have a catch up, he hasn't gone ahead and really researched anything. And that's because I think deep down he's not curious about it. He doesn't want to learn about that stuff. He just sees a life where you don't have to be in an office 9 to 5 or whatever, and gets excited by that fact, but he doesn't have the curiosity to go ahead and kind of find out how to do that. So I think when you're curious about something, that helps you become successful. But again, there's so many different ways of defining success.
That's a pretty unique answer. So it's the kind of curiosity that's compelling enough for you to seek learning, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because it just comes down to the fact that if you go to school and you don't enjoy the lesson, you don't want to learn about that particular subject, right? You're going to have a much harder time learning about it because you're not interested. But if you're really interested, let's say, I don't know, history, right? You're going to go home, you're going to search about things, you're going to find new books, and you're going to, like, I don't know, kind of become an expert on it, right?
Yeah.
So, if you don't have that, and I don't know if curiosity is purely natural.
Yeah.
People have curiosity about different things, right? So I think everyone has curiosity, but it's like, I'm not sure if you can learn to be curious about something, if you know what I mean. That's just a thing I've seen. I've seen people that will go ahead and, they can easily learn things themselves, because I don't want to keep repeating the word curiosity, but yeah, they're curious. And then other people, they're just like stuck because they don't have that natural need to like want to go and learn about it. So yeah.
I see. I think passion is one thing that will spark curiosity. If you're passionate about something, you will naturally want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you, because when I was introducing you earlier, I was describing you as a growth marketing expert. What does that mean, being a growth marketing expert?
Sure. So when I was younger, I started off by making websites for people when I was like 13, 14, 15, businesses. And then I realized that a website's pretty pointless if it's not getting any traffic to it. Yeah. So I just decided to learn how to market websites and go more into that. And then it kind of developed over time, and I became like really interested in digital marketing, and I worked with a ton of different companies over the years. And basically what we do is full stack marketing, so full stack digital marketing. So pretty much any part of the digital marketing stack we implement for businesses. So for example, maybe it's an e-commerce company. They need a new website. They need some email marketing. They need some advertising, and then maybe they need some like customer retention strategies and stuff like that. So that's what we implement for them. But I've become mainly known for my paid advertising expertise. A
Uh,
lot of Facebook and Instagram advertising, Google advertising, and pretty much every paid platform we work with to advertise companies and products and people and get more traffic and sales and customers to them. So yeah.
I see. Hold back. Did you say you were doing websites as early as 14 to 15 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, this curiosity thing, like
Yeah.
I Googled one day how to make a website, I think. And then I made a website for myself just with my name, and it had like a fire, like animated fire coming off my name. Still remember that. And then I like showed my teacher in class, and then he was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I don't know, word got out to some people and parents of my friends and stuff that had businesses, and
Yeah.
then I realized, oh God, these people can pay me, and I can do this for them,
Yeah.
maybe with a bit less fire, but yeah. So that's kind of how I started.
I see. So you do the whole spectrum of marketing, but you specialize in paid advertising.
Yeah, so whole spectrum of digital marketing. We don't do much with like TV and billboards and stuff like that. So yeah, the digital side, and then yeah, specialize in paid. Usually, companies come to us to um, improve or create their paid strategy, and then
Mhm.
along with that, we might be like, okay, well, you need better landing pages, you need better product videos. You know, we don't want to just like do the one thing if the rest is not working. We want to be able to implement everything for them, so it's going to be most effective.
I
Yeah.
see. I see. And you mentioned that having your finances in place allows you to travel and live the digital nomad lifestyle. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to live the digital nomad lifestyle?
Um, yeah, actually, one really important piece of advice
Mm-hmm.
is, let's say you have a job
Mm-hmm.
already and you want to like start doing like becoming digital nomad.
Yes.
Maybe you want to do that by, um, you know, making money online, whatever.
Uh,
Like, well, one option is right to have a remote job, right?
uh,
That's pretty straightforward. You get hired by a company that allows you to work from wherever you want, right? That's pretty straightforward.
yeah.
But if you want to like go it your own way and be making money like kind of more yourself, then I have a really important piece of advice, which is like to keep your job to start with. I think that's super
Mm-hmm.
important. I don't think I've seen this a lot in the past. People like way too much in the past.
Some
People are like,
shit.
okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
They quit their job, and then they're just like, I don't know, sitting at home all day thinking, okay, right, let's do it. Let's do it. And then every day, right, they're not making money yet, and they don't have their job, so they're not making money from that. So my advice is like, keep your job if you have a job, and
Mm-hmm.
first of all, be saving up, and also second of all, be learning something on the side, right? Most jobs allow you some time, you know, you still have time in the day to learn something on the side for a couple hours. So whether you're learning or starting a small business or whatever it is, um, just be doing that on the side. Unless you've got a load of money saved up already, then maybe you have a long time you can be basically unemployed whilst you're, you know, improving your skills or whatever. So I think that's like important to start with. I was like helping this guy. He wanted to start like a drop shipping business,
Huh?
and um, so I was helping him with that because I got experience with that. Just literally just giving him some free advice, and turns out he only had about $150 to invest. And what I didn't realize as well is like that was like all the money he had saved up as well. This was a
Oh.
young guy. He was still living with his parents, but he was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, essentially unemployed, right? So, you know, that's not really enough money to start a business like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you're down to zero with that amount of money, then what are you going to do from there if you haven't started making money already, right? You need to go
Yeah.
out and get a job. So, like, I think you need to have like be a bit more secure before you go into starting something like this. And then uh, what else was I going to say? Um, oh yeah, so on the more the traveling side, the nomad side,
Yeah.
um, I think it's important that you first of all, what's super important is that you're able to, you probably need internet, right? If you're traveling and working, you probably need internet. So you need to be able to plan how and where you're going to find that. As I said before this call started, I'm on a rooftop because my Wi-Fi currently doesn't work. In the Philippines, Wi-Fi is not the best, not the most reliable. So, I'm prepared because I got a 4G SIM. So I've got internet here. So you need to be prepared in that sense. You can't just go to a hotel and expect everything to work. Maybe you got an important call to do. You need to be planned to be able to do that whilst traveling. And also, as well as that, you need to kind of plan your time, right? So you don't want to start traveling and then you spend more time traveling than working on your business, because then, maybe it's going to come to a point where your funds are getting low, you haven't developed your business enough, and then, you can't continue with the traveling, for example. So it's important to make sure you have enough time to do enough on the work side to be able to continue with the nomad side of things. Yeah. Oh, and another tip I have, a lot of people are still under the impression that you should have the place that you rent or you own, and then you do your travel as well. So I guess that's more the traditional way, right? You have your own place and then you travel when you can, right? But with me, I don't have any place I rent or own. I'm just constantly living in hotels or whatever. And even though it might seem like it's expensive to keep moving between hotel and stuff like that, of course, it depends what country you're in as well. But if you're not paying rent or anything like that, that's a lot of money, right? That then can go forward to travel. Again, it's harder for people to do. I don't have too many possessions, I guess. All the stuff I own is either with me right now at my parents' home back in the UK, or a little bit in my girlfriend's home in Manila. But that's another thing that allows you to be a bit more free and have a bit more money when especially when you're starting out, because you don't have those commitments to pay back. You don't have anywhere to go back to. That sounds a bit sad, right? But anyway, because a lot of people for example, the amount of money some of my friends are paying renting in different cities, all of that money could fund all of their living expenses traveling in different hotels in Southeast Asia, for example, right? So when they say, so of course, maybe they have a job, so that's why they're in that specific place. But, if they wanted to go the digital nomad lifestyle, it wouldn't be too hard to, stop paying that rent or whatever, and then transfer that to your hotel and living expenses somewhere else. So, yeah.
I see. So let me try to sum that up. Let me try.
Try.
On the digital side, you mentioned having your finances in place, right?
Yeah.
On the nomad side, you mentioned having enough time to work to finance the nomad lifestyle. And then lastly, you mentioned something about how do I sum that up? Well, being free,
I got a good way of summarizing it.
possessions,
You could say,
or so that you
that's another point. But one thing you could say is if you do the just becoming a full-time traveler can actually be becoming a full-time traveler, not always having to traveling for 3 weeks and then flying back to the place that you come from, or the place you're renting. Those flights and that rent could be put forward to just full-time travel, for example. And it seems like a small point, but when you look at it with digital nomads that are starting out, it actually makes a significant difference, especially when you take into account some of the difference in living expenses country to country. So so yeah,
a few people I've interviewed actually mentioned stuff about that as well. So I
Yeah.
think it's an important consideration. Yeah. Well, being a digital nomad, it's allowed you to travel a lot. So this may be a difficult question for you because you might have a lot of favorite travel stories. But what's your most favorite?
Um, yeah, I got a load of weird travel stories. Like the time I got, I'm not sure if I should say this one, but I'm going to say it anyway. India is an amazing place. I
Yeah.
love India. I'm going to go back soon. But I had one bad experience where I got in a taxi that was a scam. And I realized it was a scam after I got in because the police, I saw the taxi driver slip some money to the police officer or the security guard, whoever he was, standing outside the airport. And what he was doing was like tipping the police officer for the police officer recommending me to get in that taxi, which wasn't a real taxi.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy demanded a lot of money off me and yeah, threatened me a lot and then left me in a field. And it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. But anyway, I have yeah, so I got a lot of weird stories like that, but I have a really awesome story, which is actually like how I met my girlfriend. And like I like this story because it it one thing that I really like to talk about is that if you take loads of opportunities when they come up, then that can lead to so many unexpected things happening, right? A lot of I don't know, clients I got in the past, they came from like random conversations. Even me like asking a guy on Instagram like what place the picture was from ended up with him being my client, and I wasn't even trying to do that, right? So I think the more things you do, the more opportunities you take leads to you know, loads of potential awesome things, right? So this example, I'm trying to think when it started. So in 2013, I decided I want to just like, this is kind of when I started traveling more. I decided I want to work in China. It sounds a bit random, and come to think of it, it is pretty random, but that's what I decided. So I did an internship.
Tom,
Anyway, 16, I think it was.
Could you backtrack like
Decided I wanted.
30 seconds? Lost you for like 30
Did you lose
seconds.
me? Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
China.
whoops. Yeah. So
13.
I decided I wanted to work in China in 2013, and then so I got an internship there, and I loved it. And then end of 2016, I wanted to do it again, right? So I worked in another city for a month. Anyway, the end of that, I thought, well, why not visit Macau and Hong Kong on the way home? So I did that. Went to Hong Kong one night. We went out. I really needed a toilet. We were walking in LKF, which is like the party place in Hong Kong. I really needed to go to the toilet. So we were like rushing around trying to find a place that would let us go to the toilet. Finally found a bar. We went there. We came out and we were like, oh, this is weird. Like everyone here is a guy. There's no girls here. That's weird. And then this one guy approached me. By the way, it was a gay bar. That's why it was all guys there. One guy approached me and he was like, hey, I love your hair. And I was like, oh, thanks. And then he said, can I have your modeling card? And I was like, what do you mean modeling card? He was like, the card the models have. And I was like, I'm not a model. What the hell? And he was like, oh, you should be a model with that hair. So he was a Filipino guy. And he gave me his details. I think he added me on Facebook. And then basically he wanted me to do some modeling in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So then a few months later, I was going to Bangkok to DJ because I was doing a lot of DJing then. So I thought, oh, after that, I'll go to Manila. Went to Manila and, you know, I had a meeting with like the modeling guy. Anyway, I was here I was in the Philippines on Holy Week where nothing happens. So nothing happened then. Anyway, I met my girlfriend on Tinder, dating app. Other apps are available, I think. And then we hit it off from there, and that's how I met her. But anyway, the reason I love that story is because it's like I just took loads of random opportunities, right?
Yeah.
And it was so random how it happened. And if any one of those steps in that process didn't happen, it's super unlikely, first of all, that I would have come to the Philippines, for example, and second of all, that I would have met my girlfriend. So
Wow.
yeah, I like really like advising people, if they hear of opportunities, if random things pop up, they go for it, or at least like try and learn more about it and see what's like a good option to go ahead with. So yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty good story.
Nice.
um, I'm in the business of helping people achieve their dreams in my own way. So the next question is related to that. Um, what should someone do to make his or her dreams come true, in your opinion?
Yeah, that's really hard. I think it goes
Mhm.
back to the first thing I said, which was that like you need to like kind of define, I guess, what your actual dreams are, right? And that's kind of, I think it's really hard when you really think about it, because um, a lot of people I've spoken to on the digital nomad side of things, they had a completely different idea of what they wanted when they started with their online business and their traveling and everything. And over time, probably through taking different opportunities and stuff, they realized that what they actually want is pretty different. So I don't think I can answer this question well whatsoever. I'm sure you can answer it much better than me, but I think it's really important to just like actually figure out what you want, because when you're younger, I think everyone, not everyone, a lot of people is like, oh, I just want to have an awesome family, loads of cars, big house, loads of money, I can travel whenever I want, that kind of thing. But I think in reality, a lot of people, if they were put in that situation, that wouldn't exactly be what they wanted. So figuring out that first step is like important.
So figuring it out and figuring it out again if you change your mind along the way.
Yeah, like keep thinking about what you want. So I seem to be really like focused on how I wanted to visit every country in the world
Mm,
quite recently, and I think I still
mm,
want to do that eventually. But then
mm,
recently, I just realized it's like kind of fun to even to do all the small things. Like I'm in a random city in the Philippines.
uh,
Basically, there's no tourists here, and
uh,
in the past, I used to get stressed about like, oh, we're not doing any cool activity today.
yeah.
Like that's bad. I'm wasting my time here, but I'm
Uh,
probably gonna have just as much fun. I don't know, walking down the street and like seeing some random shops. It's a really weird example, but like uh, I didn't realize that that would still like make me happy, and that's like cool. But I really enjoy that still. So yeah, I'm like redefining all the time, like what makes me happy, what like how I'm happy with living my life, kind of thing. Um, yeah, and also yeah, sorry to keep going on, but just being happy about the position you're in is important,
mhm,
because if you keep thinking ahead of what you want to get to, of course, it's good to have dreams and goals, but if you're constantly
yeah.
thinking ahead, I don't think you get the opportunity to like enjoy what you actually have, or what stage you're at. Anyway, you should enjoy like the whole process of getting there or getting somewhere or just being somewhere. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Um, the next question is a pretty big one. It sounds big anyway. What is your vision for the future?
Yeah. Well, as my friends will tell you, they
Uh-huh.
kind of hate me because I'm not so good at planning
Uh,
things. I'm good at planning. It's just I don't like to plan certain things. So
uh-huh.
like uh, after Saturday night, I have no idea what we're gonna do. Like literally no idea. I don't know where we're gonna stay. I don't know even if we're gonna be on this part of in this part of the Philippines. I'm not quite sure, right? And
Mhm.
I kind of like that. So yeah, my answers will probably be quite broad in terms of the future, but
Mhm.
I probably can answer it in different ways. So, like on the business side of things, I realize there's a lot of what I've realized with the work I do is that everything is quite niche specific. So let's say I'm doing digital marketing for a hotel. That's very different to digital marketing for real estate or digital marketing for an e-commerce fashion brand or whatever, right? And there's a lot of information out there on things like how to run paid advertising, how to set up your email marketing, how to build a website, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of it is quite generalized, and I understand the reason for that. But I don't think it helps people that much if you're like a business owner or if you specialize in one particular niche. It doesn't help people that much because they want to know exactly what's best for their type of business, right?
Yeah.
So what I want to be able to do is through a multitude of different ways. So like free information, courses, potentially books, potentially software, all that kind of stuff. Over the next, I'm talking 5-10 years, is create more niche focused information so that people, you know, so if I have a hair salon, I can pick up this information, follow it through, and I know that I'm doing the best I should be doing, or pretty near enough to do marketing for that digitally, because there's so many businesses that are missing out on opportunities for marketing just because they don't even know that they should be doing something, for example. So that's what I want to do business wise. And then, yeah, personal wise, I think just keep traveling with my girlfriend, seeing new places. I love meeting new people. Sometimes I get angry because things are different in different countries. I think that's pretty normal. It makes me angry, and I got to realize that it's just all part of the experience. But yeah, that's really my passion: seeing new places, seeing new people and stuff. So I think continue with that really.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Where can people find you online?
So they want to talk to me. The best place is probably Instagram. So my handle is @TomJamesDJ. And then, yeah, if they want to read more about me and how I help businesses, they can go to my website, which is just my name. So TOMJAM.ES. So yeah, they can go there, and feel free to message me anytime, and I'll get back to you, whether you're a business or a person that wants advice or whatever. Yeah.
All right. Let's invite them to Freedom Summit Global.
Yes, please come. I'm going to be speaking in Manila, Kuala Lumpur, Chiang Mai, Bali, and Singapore. So if anyone's there or near or wants to fly there, then please come by. It's going to be awesome. I can't believe how many speakers we have for these events.
Yeah.
So for sure, you're going to learn something. Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. And on a final note, let's invite them to like Freedom Summit Global and Freedom Summit Asia on Facebook. And that ends
Yes.
the interview.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
No worries.